presentation of BFA Sports.
Football, for me personally, means a lot. I get excited every morning coming out here practicing with my team, and I just think that if I didn't have football, I wouldn't be as happy as I am now.
What football mean to me is like you gotta be compassionate, you gotta be physical, you gotta stay focused, always work hard. You always have to grind every day, make sure you stay fit.
Our guys, we put in a lot of effort, and coaches on us every day about effort, and we don't need to get talked to about our dedication. Everybody pretty much shows up when they need to show up, and we're all lifting, always doing their thing.
Practice is just like a game. Every time you gotta get to the field, do it hard. When you practice, it's just like a game. You gotta keep going hard, you gotta keep doing what you have to do, and just stay focused all the time.
It is Friday night, week 2 here in South Jersey for a Friday night matchup here on BFA Sports between the visiting Hammonton Blue Devils and the home Highland Regional Tartans, coming in with a record of 0-2. Hello, everybody. I am Vin Abinu alongside Doug Stasic. And there we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a South Jersey football matchup. That's Doug. I'm Vin. Well, it's been a tale of two games for Hammonton and the Blue Devils. Winning 35-0 week 0 against St. John Vianney, coming down from the short conference in the Battle of the Beach in Ocean City. Kenny Smith scoring 5 touchdowns, defense pitching a shutout. Week 2 against Cherokee, 7-6 Hammonton at halftime, and then everything sort of fell apart for the Hammonton Blue Devils. 34 points by Cherokee in the third quarter, and we're out to a 47-7 victory. So starting with the visitors, Doug, Hammonton still trying to find out what kind of team they are. I mean, it's a favorable matchup for them tonight against Highland, but they got to figure some stuff out. And Coach Jim Razza said they did have a good week of practice.
Yeah, listen, they're physical up front. They're physical defensively, offensively. It was just different. I mean, hey, listen, they ran into a juggernaut this year in Cherokee, Cherokee being a Group 5 school. So you know that there's probably, arguably, a bit more depth. But being physical is what Hammonton football is all about. It starts at the youth level. It comes up into the high school. And that's what I would expect, right? I don't expect to see a repeat of what happened last week. And, again, Cherokee jumped out early. Hammonton struggled a bit to try to catch up. Not going to be the case here. I think you got to give the rock to Kenny Smith. It's what worked against St. John Vianney. I think they're going to get back to the basics for sure. And, listen, Vin, on the flip side for the Tartans of Highland, it has been a bit of an uphill battle. It has been a struggle. They got a great quarterback. They like to air it out. In terms of, Connor Leary, 17 for 43, though. I mean, that kind of resonates with the fact that you've been from behind. It's a hard game to win at the high school level if you have to throw the ball quite a bit. And I would expect to see a lot of Butler Mayhew as far as the backs go. So it's going to be a battle of the backs right here. I would probably project and predict.
Yeah, rough start for Highland. I mean, starting out losing 34-6 to Timber Creek in week 0, and then last week 35-6 to Paul VI. So Highland's certainly looking to bounce back in their home opener here tonight against a tough Hammonton Blue Devils squad. And take a look now at the opening coin toss as the players shake hands, the captains at the 50-yard line. Again, Kenny Smith, Hammonton has scored 6 touchdowns across both games, all by Kenny Smith, 5 against St. John Vianney week 0, 1 last week in the first half. Hammonton, a heavy run team, so we'll see them run the ball a lot tonight. And certainly, as Doug just said, Highland likes to throw the ball a little bit, so some contrasting offenses here on Friday night on BFA Sports. It's been a hot one all week. Coaches have had to change up the practices a little bit, change the times, change the length, and one of those things throughout the course of a week like this where it's been near 90 degrees and you have a game coming up, you got to hydrate, and you got to drink plenty of water, Doug, especially in a game like this so you can avoid any kind of cramps or any kind of injury.
Well, it appears that the Tartans have won the toss. Missed the indicator of who's going to actually receive the ball. Captains for the Blue Devils tonight, Xavier Miller, Jeffrey Naris, Tavon Atkins, and, of course, number 45, that's Highland. A lot of blue going on in the field. So, of course, it's Kenny Smith wears number 3, Justin Dowdy wearing number 5, Andrew Weiner wearing number 11, and the Beast is number 45. That's Joey Gillen. He gives offensive linemen nightmares in his spare time. And we're going to see him a lot in the backfield, I would anticipate as well, for the Blue Devils of Hammonton.
Yeah, we're getting ready for the national anthem here at Highland Regional High School. Ready to go here on Friday night. The Highland Tartans in the home uniforms here on our side, just outside the press box. We're in the teal blue uniform tops and the white pants with the teal blue.
I got to go with Carolina blue. I'm a big
UNC
fan. I'm going to go with the Carolina powder blue.
I feel like they definitely had some inspiration from the Tar Heels there, who had a good week last week opening up their ACC schedule against South Carolina. So could be a good year for the Tar Heels football team. Of course, Hammonton Blue Devils right there on the far side, the white tops, blue bottoms. Should be a good one here on Friday night. Again, it's been a real hot week here in New Jersey. Temperatures hitting at least 90 degrees pretty much just about every day here. You know, a lot of schools around the Garden State have gone to half days in this first week of school or second week of school, depending on the district, just because of the heat and, you know, the ability for AC units to keep up here. So this game, originally scheduled for a 6 o'clock start, was moved on Wednesday to 7 o'clock to try and get out of some of the sunshine and play in a little less heat. It's pretty dry air tonight. Not too much of a breeze. We'll see how it affects the players. Plenty of water needed. Maybe some bananas as well. That helps keep the cramps away. And we're ready to go here Friday night, Hammonton and Highland.
Kickoff presented by Pizza Hut. Score big deals on stuffed crust pizzas, tasty wings, breadsticks, and more with fast delivery all through the Pizza Hut app at pizzahut.com. Special thanks to the Heron family and their South Jersey Pizza Hut team.
Opening kick by Gavin Kovacs goes to the 20-yard line and bounces there. Returning upfield, getting popped near the 23-yard line. Elijah Thompson on the return, and the Tartans offense coming out on the field.
All Tartans won the toss. They elected to receive, and they are going to try to go to work against this vaunting Hammonton Blue Devil defense. They're wearing the white tops with the Blue Devil pants, white helmets, and they often say the Michigan Wolverine style helmets, but I'm a University of Delaware alumni, so I call those blue helmet.
In a back
Blue hen helmets.
Where I'm from in the short conference, Tom's River North, who's ranked 4th in the state as of this week, sort of models the University of Michigan with their uniform color. That is Connor Leary under center, 169 passing yards to start the season and a couple touchdowns. He rolls right, looking for a man, slings one across the middle. Flag thrown as the ball caught at the 30 by Elijah Thompson. We'll see where this one goes back. Flag came in, thrown from the secondary. It looks like the flag is on Highland.
Good coverage there by DeAndre Clemens. And one thing Highland cannot afford, especially when they're trying to jumpstart their offense for the first 2 weeks, been a little bit out of sync, is to back yourself up and make it for first and quite a distance.
So an inauspicious beginning for the Highland Tartans. You see most of the runs coming out of the backfield by Nehemiah Butler-Mayhew, who's got 147 yards rushing on the season so far. Matt Tuttle, one of their top receivers, 81 yards receiving for the Tartans. And there you see him roll to the far side of the screen. On first and long, trips in the backfield was Nehemiah Butler-Mayhew, so now a second and long for the Tartans.
Yeah, well, the Blue Devil defense certainly going to key on that gentleman wearing number 6 in the backfield. You could kind of tell right there that perhaps the offensive line, little concerned about a couple of the big men up front for Hammonton, including number 77.
Now, this matchup is spread across several years, but Hammonton has won the 3 previous matchups head-to-head against Highland. On a 2nd and 17 for Highland. Leary backs, fires one down the far side of the field for Thompson. Tipped away at the 40 and a flag thrown. As going up to defend it was Jaden Smith, and this could be DPI.
Yeah, well, we talked about it at the beginning of the game, right? Leary was going to drop back, he's going to try to throw the ball, and this is just this is a heck of a throw. Looks to his right, airs it out, but the coverage, my opinion, the coverage was spot on, so Jaden Smith not happy that he's going to have to pick up some of that laundry early on, and that'll be an opportunity to shorten up the field a bit, 2nd and 4.
So an opportunity for Highland to start marching up the field a little bit here on the opening drive. So Connor Leary doesn't stay in the pocket. He rolls around and looks for his receiver. So far he's favored Elijah Thompson, who is there at the bottom of your screen all the way to the left, being guarded again by Jaden Smith. 2 in the backfield. This is a carry up the middle to Butler-Mayhew. Runs into a sea of Blue Devils there after a gain of about 3 yards.
Well, the best high school football teams are the ones that dominate physically at the line of scrimmage. Control the line of scrimmage, and you're going to put your team in a good position to win. And, again, a pretty good look there at that Blue Devils front 4. They run a base 43 defense and like to walk some of the backers up. But right there you see number 53, Devon Coulter, number 70. Looks like number 77, Cam Broadmax, is out there as well.
On a 3rd and 1, up the middle, it's a carry by Leary. Looks like he's got enough for a Tartans first down.
Oh, that's how you leverage extra opportunities. We saw it earlier on the Game Changer instant replay. Throw the ball downfield, draw some contact, and instead of 1st and forever, 2nd and manageable, and get it done, convert.
Coach Jim Razzo was telling Chris Losey the other day on the coaches show that they, admitted the mistakes, was accountable for what the team was doing. They said they had a better week of practice, and they wanted to clear some things up from that Cherokee game before going up against Highland tonight. Fresh set of downs for the Tartans.
Keep your eye on number 4, Matt Tuttle, when they're ready to throw the football.
That's another handoff. This one to Mackay Brown, gain of maybe 2. Stopped on the play there by a couple Blue Devils.
Yeah, nice job up front. Good wrap up by number 72.
Liankovic. It's a 2nd and 11. Looks like he ended up losing a yard there. Leary comes back into the huddle with the play as we cross the 8.5-minute mark. Opening drive for Highland. A couple penalties between the two parties so far tonight. Leary in the pistol. Fakes, play action pass, left side, and that catch made. Getting past the 30. And tackled by Kenny Smith.
Yeah, Tavon Atkins was out there in the flat, trying to run a bit of a waggle play out of a spread formation. But Kenny Smith showing good discipline, two-way standout player. And he wasn't fooled. So read the quarterback quite well, kept him in front, and now 3rd and long in their own territory.
So that's a big play for the Highland Tartans here coming up on a 3rd down. Kenny Smith, that man, probably see a lot of from the running back position with Hammonton on offense throughout the course of the evening. Again, 6 touchdowns coming in just from the offensive standpoint.
The Hammonton defense, 47 points allowed, but that all came last week. So shutout in game number 1, then to let up 47. Believe me, they want to keep that 0 next to that Tartan logo on the scoreboard.
On a 3rd and 9, Leary overthrows Thompson, and that pass falls incomplete near the 45, coverage by Justin Dowdy. And after a mini drive that lasted a few minutes long, Hammonton will now receive the ball as Highland will send out the punting unit.
Dowdy wasn't fooled, knew that Leary likes to go to the air, especially 3rd and long, stayed home. Had a bit of a cover 3 going in that particular formation. And keep your eye on the Hammonton special teams. They had a blocked punt back at Battle of the Beach, along with a blocked field goal.
Kenny Smith standing at his own 32, waiting to receive the punt.
And just what I said. Someone got a hand on that.
An inauspicious start. That one looks like fumbled near the 30. Pyle.
Well,
we'll see who has it. It is a Hammonton ball, so a lucky grab for them on the receiving end.
Well, Joey Gillen, super aggressive, always on defense. You'll see it here on the Game Changer instant replay. Slow it down. He busts right through the line, gets a hand on it, partial block. Now, mind you, this is still 7 yards behind him. And he says, hey, give me that football. And thankfully, somehow he fought off about 4 Highland defenders to end up with the football. And the Blue Devils in business, Vin, deep in Highland territory.
It's a good spot to start your first offensive drive. Drew Craig calling the plays on the Hammonton offense. 2-back set, man in motion. Hand off to Kenny Smith up the middle. Just piles through the Highland defense. Everybody in on that trying to bring him down, and they finally do.
Listen, outstanding explosion by Kenny the Jet Smith. Finds a seam, squares the shoulder pads, and just goes. But you got to give it up. Anytime that you see, the big men that are out there leading, and in this case, 2 of the linemen, number 70, Gabriel Ramirez, right out in front along with Cameron Broadnax. I mean, the big boys up front are creating some big lanes early.
This one carrying again to Smith, and Highland sniffed it out. I don't think he gained a yard there on that play. A whole bunch of Tartans in there on the tackle, including Matt Tuttle.
Yeah, Tuttle up front with Jaheim Starks as well. Good stunt call by the Highland defense. Again, they often start with a 4-man front in their own right, but since they're deep in the red zone, back against the wall, that's where the safety kind of creeps up. They know that Hammonton likes to run power football, and right now they're not lined up too alarmed as if they would anticipate to see number 8 let the ball go in Craig.
DeAndre Clemens to the right of Craig. Kenny Smith over to his left. It is Clemens with the fake. That one's up the left side by Camargo, and he's tackled after maybe a gain of a yard. So a little trickery in the backfield for Hammonton. And it'll be a 3rd and long for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, good coverage there by Highland that time, number 58. Playing a good spot there, a linebacker, shuffle step, stays with him. And that was Michael McConnell, able to ride him out and down to the ground.
So we've seen Josh Camargo in the backfield along with Kenny Smith and DeAndre Clemens. See what the Blue Devils do here on 3rd down and 8 as we cross near the 5-minute mark.
Split back formation this time, a little bit of...
He's going to roll out, back corner of the end zone. Caught in the end zone for the touchdown by Joey Gillen.
And that was an incomplete pass. I know you're excited, Vin. So we were a little bit screened there on the play, but Gillen wide open, and we saw him go up for that block punt, and that time couldn't come down with that one.
It looked good.
Well, listen, man, it was good practice. You were getting your practice in, too.
Well, we'll roll it again here, Hammonton.
Yeah, they're going to see here on the Game Changer instant replay. We'll speed it up a little bit. I mean, this was a good move, wide open, and just right through the wickets,
at the last second.
Yeah, so our Our camera angle takes you way closer than we are up in the press box. So we are got a little bit of a steel girder between us and the field right now. But our BFA camera guys taking us all the way in.
And Hammonton going for it here on 4th down. And it looks like Coach Jim Razzo wants to talk things over the Blue Devils offense, figuring out what they want to do here on 4th down. I mean, Doug, this could be a situation where they roll out the hard count, give it to Kenny Smith, or you could see Connor Leary try to roll out and try to pass it into the end zone here, or it could be all for naught here as Hammonton may settle for 3. Discussing it in the huddle. Again, Kenny Smith, 275 yards rushing coming into the game, and Craig, 121 yards passing.
Well, I want to thank our friends at the DiDonato Family Fun Center since 1952. The DiDonato Family Fun Center has been the place to take your team for bowling, food, drinks, and now even ice cream, Ben. 26 lanes, alley, bar, and grill, the Penn Deck ice cream, arcade games, and more. The DiDonato Family Fun Center is on the White Horse Pike in Hammonton and online at DiDonatoFunCenter.com.
Ice cream and bowling, Doug.
Hey, man, nothing better.
Big 4th down for Hammonton here on their first offensive possession. Following the timeout. Trips to the right for the Blue Devils. And Smith in motion. Leary's going to roll out. Fire back of the end zone. Caught by Camargo for the touchdown.
Oh, wow. You talk about a big-time play. 4th and goal. He's able to find lucky number 7. And a good drag route across the back of the end zone. And the Blue Devils on the board first. They got a lot to celebrate.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust.
Josh Camargo. And now Hammonton will attempt the extra point. Gavin Kovacs on to do the duties here and put Hammonton up 7-zip. And his PAT attempt is up, and it is good. It is 7-0 Blue Devils here in the first quarter on their opening drive here on Friday night on BFA Sports.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, only from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Newest thing from Pizza Hut isn't pizza at all. It's cheesy, so crispy, loaded with toppings, and just $6.99. Enough for 2, price for 1. New Pizza Hut melts, just $6.99.
Back here at Highland Regional High School, Hammonton Blue Devils up 7-0 on the 8-yard touchdown catch to Josh Camargo a couple moments ago.
There it is on the game-changer instant replay. See Craig roll a bit to his right, set the feet, and it was just a well-developed play. So they caught Highland in a cover 3, and he waited until Camargo was able to get between the defensive back on the left side of the field and the safety, sat down in the spot. Craig throws a strike, and he's got to be happy about the start here tonight.
And that all follows that blocked punt by Highland that set up Hammonton deep in Tartans territory. So good start for the visiting Blue Devils following a tough 47-7 defeat last week to Cherokee. They won 35-0 week 1 against St. John Vianney. This kick high up in the air near the 15. And running up is Tuttle. Gets to about the 30-yard line, and that's where Highland will begin their second drive of the night.
Momentum is such an important component of high school football, and for Hammonton to come out, get Gillen, have a hand on the ball, start way deep in their territory, and then able to just settle in, pound the rock, go heavy with Kenny Smith, and then use the run to set up the pass, and even at 4th down, have the confidence enough in your defense that even if we don't get it, we're still going to just pin our ears back and try to hold our own, but now they do so with a 7-0 lead.
It'll be a true test, I think, to that point for Hammonton because they had that 7-6 lead going into the half last week, and then their defense just had all kinds of trouble in the second half. Rolling out, and that pass falls incomplete. It looks like it was intended for Mackay Brown as Leary's pass falls away. It's second down.
I like Leary's confidence. He's very relaxed in the pocket. He trusts his linemen. But what's going on right now is fundamental lane rushing by the Blue Devils. Not running a whole lot of stunts, just trying to go man-to-man up front, try to get pressure, make the quarterback uncomfortable, but keep him in the pocket, right? And that's important because sometimes, and I know you're a Giants fan, Vin. We won't let everybody know that, but me being an Eagles fan, sometimes you can get frustrated when you don't see a lot of blitzing up front, but blitzing is often out of necessity, and that's what the Hammonton defense is setting in right now.
This is Mekhi Brown up the left side. Gains maybe a yard or two there. Tackled by a couple Blue Devil defenders, including Jaden Smith and Christian Medina. There on the stop.
Yeah, Medina, funky cold, as he just came around the end, had the running back in his sights, and just drops him to the ground, right? And now you think about hustle. Look where 58 is. He's not on the right side of the football. He's on the left, and he makes that play because he's coming down the line, right? I talked about making sure that you're responsible. Now, the counter move here is when you see one end up on the other side of the field, you got to be thinking protect the counter, and that's going to put a little bit more probably pressure out there on his teammate Josiah Miller to make sure that what we call stay home.
3rd down and 8 for the Tartans, under 4 to go. Leary back to pass, fires one across the home side, caught at midfield. Matt Tuttle with a big first down for Highland.
The leader in receiving yards for the Tartans is number 4, Matt Tuttle. And he made it look pretty there in those Carolina powder blues. You'll see it on the Game Changer instant replay. This is going to move the chains and give them a first down. Look at that. Pretty ball by Leary. Drops the nose. I just mentioned, right? It's going to be important for number 33 to stay home. And they catch Josiah Miller taking advantage. Flood the zone. Coming across the top. He had to choose one man to go with, and you can say that Leary made a good read.
First play in Hammonton territory for Highland tonight. It's a run up the middle to the 45. And it's Mekhi Brown again getting the bulk of the carries when Highland has run it so far. Nehemiah Butler-Mayhew got a carry before. He's the leading rusher for Highland, but they have been calling Mekhi Brown's number so far, Doug.
Yeah, well, it's important that you take what the defense is going to give you. They're obviously keying on number 6 in Butler-Mayhew, so other guys have to step up, and that's exactly what's going on. Leary's you see him there, he's been making some good reads with the football. Coach is trusting him that he's going to find the right receiver, and now it looks like we got a timeout perhaps on the field, and that'll give us an opportunity to thank one of our Blue Devils sponsors who have brought you BFA Sports right into the home tonight.
There we go.
And why not? Red Oak Asphalt Paving Systems. The road to victory is a smooth one thanks to Bob Capaferi and family at Asphalt Paving Systems. From highways to driveways, that long-lasting shiny seal technology from Asphalt Paving Systems all started in Hammonton, Vin. Check out their latest projects at asphaltpavingsystems.com.
There we go. Check them out. 3:04 to go here in the first quarter. Hammonton's got the 7-0 lead on the Josh Camargo touchdown. Well, almost 2 minutes ago now. Highland on their second offensive drive of the opening quarter and about to run their second play in Hammonton territory here tonight. It's a big offensive drive for Highland, and it's an important one for Hammonton to try and get a shutout. This is another carry up the middle. Mekhi Brown tripped up near the 40-yard line by Kenny Smith.
Woo! Good hard run, great push on the right side for the Highland Tartans offensive line. See it here on the Game Changer instant replay. I mean, big seal block there on the edge. But Kenny Smith sees the football and goes to the football to drop number 5, Mekhi Brown.
So 3rd and 2 now for the Tartans. Outside of field goal territory, so they need the first down here. Gives it again up the middle. And close to the first down is Highland on the carry. Andrew Wayner on the stop. We'll see where they spot the ball. It was Tevin Atkins on the carry for the Tartans. And it looks like they're, at the moment, spotting it just a little short. See if they bring out the chains here to measure.
You know, the one thing is I'm kind of looking at the body language of everybody who's on the field. First week back to school, and it's Friday.
Yep.
And this was a mentally exhausting week as you get back into reality. And I just got to wonder, is that slowing things down right now for both teams?
And up the middle, it's Leary pushing for the first down, trying to get through the pile. Looks like he may have gotten it on the initial spot, and it is a first down for Highland.
Give credit where credit is due. The Tartans' offensive line is fired up. Again, a guy that is just loving every minute of being here tonight is Michael McConnell. He's got his hands in the air trying to lead that offensive line as Leary goes back into the huddle. Surrounded there also by his teammate number 50, Eddie Johnson-Bonanno.
It's been tough going for Highland. 6 points, week 0 to Timber Creek in the loss 34-6, and then 35-6 to Paul VI last week. Leary's going to roll back to pass, fires one out of bounds, intended for Tuttle. He almost made a nice catch. He was out of bounds when the ball came his direction, so it'll be a second down for the Tartans.
Yeah, that ran out of real estate over there down the right side. You know, our friend Ricky Mariello is really good at Remax. Pretty local. He works out of the office over in Sicklerville. Big fan of Hammonton Blue Devils football. Even he couldn't sell that kind of real estate that was left out there on the right side. Out of bounds.
Second down and 10, a minute 2 to go here in the opening quarter. Vin Ebenu, Doug Stasic with you. To the left, it's Mackay Brown getting the carry up the middle. Close to another first down for Highland. Stopped there by Camargo. And he's down on the field after the carry. Yeah, now getting back up. Looks like he's shaken up a little bit, though. He's going to head off to the sideline.
Camargo was fired out of a cannon on that one. Just absolutely went right to the football. Tried to drop the hammer. It's going to bring up second down now. Second and about 4. We're going to call it 3.
Third down and 4. About 30 seconds to go. So looks like likely time enough for maybe one more play.
So they flipped the card. It is 3rd and 4.
Elijah Thompson, receiver to the left. Matt Tuttle, bottom of your screen, and time called. An official timeout. Rolls the clock again. We're ready to go here. Third down. This is a carry up the middle. Looks like enough for the first down. A little bit more by Furlow. And Highland inside or outside just outside the red zone. Check that. Ball on the 24-yard line. It looks like that may be the final play of the first quarter, with Highland threatening to score. 7-0 Hammonton Blue Devils on the Camargo touchdown. Highland looking to tie it up when we come back in the second here on BFA Sports.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half-pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, only from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
The newest thing from Pizza Hut isn't pizza at all. It's cheesy, so crispy, loaded with toppings, and just $6.99. Enough for 2, price for 1. New Pizza Hut melts, just $6.99.
We're about ready to begin the second quarter here at Highland Regional High School.
It's brought to you by Red Oak Builders. It's a family-owned construction and development firm headquartered in Philly. From historic restorations to multi-family commercial projects throughout the region, the Red Oak team takes great pride in building award-winning projects in the communities they serve. Thanks to Anthony Giacobbe and the Red Oak Builders, proud sponsors of Blue Devils football.
Now, Doug, we talked earlier in the broadcast, Hammonton struggled in this second half last week against Cherokee, certainly giving up the 34 points in the third quarter, but it seems like after they built up that 7-6 lead, their defense really had a lot of trouble against Cherokee's offense, and Highland threatening right now here in the second.
Yeah, the Blue Devils got to pick up intensity. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I talked about that first week of school that might have them kind of a little dreary in the eyes.
Leary back of the end zone past the diving reach of Elijah Thompson, and we'll do it again here, second down.
Good coverage there. way to run with them all the way in coverage. Use the sideline to your advantage. So Jaden Smith was a standout in week 0 down in Ocean City. Not only did he have a couple of nice defensive plays, but a couple of nice catches as well, and he's headed to the sideline. So, Vin, we were talking about this between the quarters here. This is not the Hammonton defense we're traditionally used to seeing. I mean, they got to turn this up here.
2nd down and 10 for Highland. Leary hands it off.
That's what I'm talking about.
And that's Wayner bringing down Makai Brown.
Yeah, Andrew Wayner, middle linebacker, running back, senior. Send a message. 6'2", 220 pounds. Exactly the kind of play that your team can rally behind. And the Tartans continuing to pound the rock, trying to spread the field to open up the running lane. So they're kind of doing it a bit, I'll call it reverse of what you normally see, right? Most of the time, use the run to set up the pass. They're using the pass to set up the run out of the spread offense.
Ball on the 26-yard line. 3rd down and 12 for the Tartans.
79's Julio Hernandez out there in front for Highland.
Leary dumps off the hitch in the flat to Tuttle, and he gets drilled right away by DeAndre Clemens.
Great coverage there by Clemens. Read the motion towards the wide side of the field, strong side. And again, get your rear to the sideline, flush the man back inside with help. And Joey Gillen was close enough on the assist, even help up the Highland defender there. Now we're seeing more of the signature Blue Devils defense that we're accustomed to. And 4th and 14, we did see the kicker warm up. He tried to boot one from 40 yards for
just about
Highland
that.
at warm-ups, but they don't seem to be interested in that right now.
4-down territory, it appears, for Highland. Hammonton possibly told to be on alert for a hard count, and timeout called by Highland as they want to discuss what they want to do on 4th down.
Well, you don't want to waste the opportunity that you're there in the deeper part of the territory when you call it that, but there's not a lot of playbooks that have 4th and 14 conversions confidently.
I mean, Hammonton probably expecting a pass if they do indeed go for it here on 4th and 14. Connor Leary, 169 yards passing coming into the game tonight and a pair of touchdowns. This is an obvious passing situation here because while Highland has run the ball a little bit tonight, mostly with Makai Brown, Doug, it's really been passing that's been getting them up the field.
Yeah, well, they've been able to travel quite well. Like our friends at the D'Amico travel team. They put all the work into making your next dream vacation a breeze. Their championship team are MVPs in planning Disney, sandals, cruises, and more. Vacation isn't supposed to be a workout, so kick back and call the D'Amico travel team at 856-767-4399 or click them up at d'amicotravel.com to book your next getaway today.
Oh, there we go. Highland looking to book a trip into the end zone here and tie this thing up in the second quarter. Connor Leary in the backfield. He's got Mike Furlow to his right. Tuttle in motion. He's going to spin back to the left here on 4th and 14. Leary slings one. End zone falls incomplete. A turnover on downs for Highland as that ball sits lonely outside the end zone there.
Yeah, he had his heart set that he wanted to toss the rock to number 5, Makai Brown. And Kenny Smith is the fastest player on the field right now. And he had no issue hanging with him for coverage. And now Hammonton perhaps trying to continue where they left off offensively to put the first 7 points on the board.
Hammonton applying enough pressure on defense to force that throw and good coverage in the secondary, to your point. See what Hammonton does here on their first drive of the second quarter. Craig calling signals at the line. He's got Kenny Smith to his left. It's a handoff to Smith up the left sideline. Spins a couple times to the 34-yard line, and a good run on first down for Kenny Smith.
Again, enjoying great execution by his offensive line. Give him a hole, give him a seam, and Smith's not going down with just one player trying to take him to the ground. I mean, he's very content keeping those legs moving and trying to get every last yard that he can.
2nd and 4 for the Blue Devils. Two receivers split right.
Now they're going into a bit of a spread. Craig into the shotgun.
And it's a handoff to Kenny Smith. Going to try the left side again. Barrels through a couple defenders. And gets to about the 40-yard line there. A couple Tartans bring him down.
A good read there by Drew Craig. He had an option, sort of like an RPO, decided to go to the near side of the field with Kenny Smith because, quite candidly, a good job there by the Highland defense. Defensive end, number 1, did not crash, so Elijah Thompson wasn't fooled, and Smith got what he could, and now is picking up a first down.
Camargo and Dowdy receivers right. Handoff again to Kenny Smith. Third straight time up the left side. Gets the first carry there and gets maybe a couple yards.
And right now the Hammonton offense running the old theory, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we're able to get a good chunk run. The previous play was Smith. They dial it up, call the same play. Interestingly enough, though, it looks like Elijah Thompson is trying to key something for Highland because he keeps switching ends. So he keeps going from the right end to the left end. It'll be interesting to see what the strategy is because now you can see he's on the far side of the field again, where number 1.
There we go, joining Camargo and Dowdy on the right. This looks like a Drew Craig's pass specialty. Fires one towards Kenny Smith, makes the catch, and then pushed back a couple yards on the play by Jaden DeLeon.
Yeah, nice trips play here by Hammonton. Flood-style play. So run one guy long, and that's teamwork. You know, it's not easy when you run into a spread offense and a guy like number 5 in Dowdy is assigned to keep running down the field to make room for his teammate Smith underneath. That's selfless football, and that's something that every college coach at the next level certainly wants to see. And he did it well. It was a good sail play. He was able to back the safety off, and that opened it up, but just now 3rd and short.
Big play for Hammonton, looking across to the other side of the field.
The pep band's pretty fired up in Highland.
Carry up the middle to Kenny Smith. He's got the first down and a little bit more. Flag thrown on the play as Kenny Smith pushes the pile to the Highland 40. Flag came in from the secondary. It is a hold on Hammonton, and this one's coming back.
Well, that was a big play. They got very good push up front, and perhaps a little bit too good of a push.
Kenny Smith with a little bit of help from his friends. And couldn't get the number there, but it was definitely a hold on somebody on Hammonton.
What's really going to hurt, that's a spot foul. So you go from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 11. This is something that you just can't have. You don't, trying to shoot yourself in the foot when you're moving the football really well, make drives much longer than they need to be. It tires out your offensive line, too.
Only 7-0 Hammonton here, second quarter. Hammonton looking to push things along here. Again, 3 to the right. It is Smith, Camargo, and Dowdy. Now Smith going in motion. Craig the pass. Fires across the middle and popped at the 45 was Justin Dowdy on the reception on a 3rd and long. So we'll see what Hammonton can do here on 4th down. Jaden DeLeon again on the stop.
Again, running similar plays out of different formations. This time, Kenny Smith was the decoy. Sent him in motion, crossed the face of the defense, and then that opens up a lane on the backside for Dowdy. And it was a pretty good sell. Drew Craig, something that he obviously has been working on because he was able to get the attention of the linebacker and create a little bit of a hole there.
Now Craig out there to punt. You expecting a fake here?
Yes.
See, 4th and 3. Craig does indeed punt it away here. Catch made at the 23-yard line. Up the sidelines after a couple is Jeffrey Naris, and there's an immediate flag.
Well, that's interesting, though, because to me, he could have gotten hit into that other player. I think you're going to be a discussion here. You can see
officials getting together.
We're up close and personal on the sideline with the BFA crew. I think you're going to pick that up. No, he's pointing to the spot. Oh.
Yeah, foul on Highland.
Yeah, so. And I think that's the right call. I mean, you saw him fly into the defender, and everybody on the Highland side was up in arms, but clearly, you probably see it here on the Game Changer instant replay. Right here towards the tail end of the play.
Yeah, he was just going to tackle. Nothing.
Yeah, he was going outside, and then he gets pushed from behind.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick
was,
Penza, our camera op, he
almost
made the tackle.
Nick Penza did okay, though. No, this is deep now into Highland territory. It's knocking on the door for Hammonton's offense.
Well, Philadelphia Eagles fans were freaking out because we didn't have a punter up until like 2 days ago. So Sipos gets the call, and the reason why, being able to change field position is huge. So you see the punt that Craig had, flips the field, and now Hammonton, addition by subtraction, they could get great field position here.
Oh, check that Highland on the ball, rather. It's a run up the middle by Mackay Brown. So a lot of confusion following that hit out of bounds.
Well, essentially they back him up. It's a dead ball foul. So wherever the play ends and it's the more or less the scene of the crime, they'll walk the 15 off from there. So that's why the Tartans are so deep in their own territory right now.
Second down and 8. Could be big for the Hammonton defense, and time called on the field by Highland as they want to discuss what they want to do here deep in their own territory. I mean, we've seen Highland, Doug, mostly from the passing game. They've gone to Mackay Brown a few times to gain a few yards, nothing more than maybe 3 or 4 on a given carry. But it's been really through the air that Highland's trying to get stuff done tonight.
Yeah, pivotal possession right now, right? And that's where it's a really good call for a timeout. As you look inside the Tartans huddle. And that's the discussion, right? The discussion is, hey, we got ourselves a one-score contest. We're a bit deep in our own zone. Let's protect the football. We're a team that likes to throw. And so the last thing you want is a pick that starts sending the momentum the other way. And when you need to make a call of your own, call Ricky Morello of Remax Community Real Estate. He's ready to dial up the right game plan to sell your home or find the home of your dreams in South Jersey. As a local Hammontonian, he is a proud Blue Devils and wants to team up with you the next time you're in the real estate market. Contact Ricky through his website at rickymariello.remax.com.
Second down and 8 for Highland. It's Leary rolling out. Fires one towards Brown. It falls incomplete, and he saw somebody coming right at him, and that was number 33, Josiah Miller, coming in, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, those weren't footsteps. Those were dialed in and ready to go, and it almost went right into the wickets.
Yeah.
He almost had an opportunity to grab that ball, and now 3rd and long, and I guess the debate is really do you keep the ball on the ground or do you feel that you can execute, which they have done pretty well so far, throwing the football. They've connected a few times, but it's a big risk in a one-score game with 5.5 to go in the first half.
See what they do. They got a couple receivers to each side. And Tavon Atkins in the backfield next to Connor Leary. Man in motion. Leary back to pass. Fires one across the middle toward midfield, and that one bounces onto the grass and incomplete. Pursuit there by Camargo on the defensive stop. He comes up wobbling a little bit after he hit the ground pretty hard. And so did Tuttle. Tuttle favoring his right hip.
Tuttle's going to feel that one in the morning. This field looks to be a little thirsty is the best way that I could describe it. I was out there prior to the game during warm-ups, and it could use some water, and it is super rock hard right now.
Yeah. We see how it impacted there. Highland to punt here, 4th and 8, and deep in their own territory. About 5.5 to go till halftime. This punt Clean in the air. Kenny Smith has to go back a bit. Retrieves it at his own 37. He's going to look for a hole here. Now he's going to try the other side. To the left, to the Hammonton sideline, to the 50. Looking for a little more room. Gets to the 40, out of bounds near the 36-yard line. Good return by Kenny Smith.
I mean, this kid is just super comfortable. See it here on the Game Changer Instant Replay. Just a little bit of a bobble, but he's looking for his lane. So he makes one man miss, makes another miss. Then he looks to pick up a block. And look at Dowdy. It's like a security detail right there. Just leading them right up the sideline, and now Hammonton is in business.
Ball spotted just outside the 35. 7-0 Hammonton on the Camargo touchdown with 4:54 in the first quarter. It's a wildcat play up the middle. It's Cobbs. Gets maybe a couple yards on that play. So Coach Jim Rouzo going to the play deep inside the playbook. They were a little wildcat.
Different looks, right? I mean, Hammonton prides themselves on running similar effective plays out of a different formation. And that's essentially what happens. You're slowing down the linebackers. They come up to the line of scrimmage and are saying, all right, well, this is a different look. You know, again, this is a slot right formation.
And another wildcat run, but this one pitched to Kenny Smith.
Oh, he got popped.
Gets maybe 3 yards on the play.
Whew.
Coming over to make the hit was
Jaheim
Starks.
Man. The other guy, is the guy named Starks Iron Man? He just blasted him.
Ran right into a brick wall there.
But Kenny Smith right back at it. He's like, more where that came from.
Couple wildcat plays run by Hammonton consecutively. It's a 3rd and 6. Under 4 to go here in the half. And now you see Craig back out there. He's got Kenny Smith to his left. Camargo there, bottom of your screen. Now he's going in motion. Pitch to Kenny Smith up the middle, looking for a couple holes. Runs out of an ankle tackle and gets to the 25-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you right now, our camera op, Charles Hope, he has been doing this for 35 years. So if you can fake him out, I can assure you this was a good sell. I mean, that was just a great handoff, and Craig just kept looking downfield as he was throwing the football, and it froze the secondary and create more opportunity there for his running back.
Smith and Camargo receivers left. This one, a handoff to Kenny Smith. Looking to push a pile, tried the A-gap, tried turning around, maybe got a couple yards there before he was pushed down by a couple Tartan defenders. Billy Taylor in on the stop among them. Second down and about 7.
You know, Vince, something we failed to mention, too, is the heat this week, right? We talked about the fact that the start time got pushed back.
Yeah.
And you definitely feel the heat, just like it is, you know, people are like, oh, man, it feels so hot out when you walk outside. Well, that's great that you're going to pick up the mail or something, but imagine wearing all this equipment and playing a high school football game.
It feels so much hotter. Camargo in motion gets the carry on the jet sweep up the left side, maybe gains a couple yards, tripped up and pushed out of bounds there by Elijah Thompson. And not the route Camargo intended to take. He was hoping to get a little bit more than that. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Conditioning already starting to be a factor in this one.
Timeout called by Hammonton here on a 3rd and 6 with 2:23 to go here on BFA Sports. Second quarter, 2:23 to go before the half. 3rd down and 6 for Hammonton. Drew Craig joined in the backfield by Ethan Peterson to his right. And Clemens to his left. He's going to fake, roll out, fires back of the end zone. Caught for the touchdown! It is Joey Gillen. 13-0 Blue Devils.
Well, that's how you answer the bell. My, oh, my. Out of a timeout, nonetheless. Talk about executing what you draw up. See it here on the Game Changer Instant Replay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a beautifully designed flag route towards the right corner. Nobody there.
And Hammonton looking to make it a 2-touchdown game. PAT looked like it was tipped at the line. No good. So 13-0 Hammonton Blue Devils with 2:15 to go here in the second quarter.
Man, Kovac was perfect. 7 for 7 on the extra points before that attempt there, and that one didn't go according to plan. And Vertical Raise. Well, elevate your program's fundraising this season with Vertical Raise. Vertical Raise is the premier online fundraising platform for organizations of all sizes. Raise more money in less time with a local fundraising coach who works with you every step of the way to customize the ideal fundraiser for your program.
There we go.
Score for your team now by visiting verticalraise.com.
A lot of websites to visit at halftime.
Yeah. Hey, surf while you go. You can watch the game on the TV, put it up there, and while it's on your smart TV or you got the Apple Play going, flip through the phone.
Exactly.
Reach out to these sponsors.
Doug and I will keep you company while you, check out Vertical.
We got you covered.
Yeah, Remax. 13-0 Blue Devils here. They've got the lead, and they're looking to keep the shutout. Jim Razzo talking to his team there and looking to make sure that his defense ready to rock and roll and protect that 13-0 edge going into the locker room. This is a big defensive stand coming up for Hammonton, Doug. They got to make a stop here.
Well, this is the one knowing that you're going to get the football back to start the second half.
And Tuttle watches that roll out of bounds and the ensuing flag.
Well, yeah, it's interesting because you have the opportunity to either take the football or have them re-kick it.
It looks like Highland's leaning toward accepting just taking the ball as it lands, as it was in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Going to move it up to the 35-yard line. And Hammonton has won the 3 previous matchups head-to-head with Highland. Highland 0-2. This is their home opener. They lost 34-6 to Timber Creek week 0 at the Battle of the Beach and 35-6 last week to Paul VI. Connor Leary and company looking to get something going here late in the first half. Fires one down the far side of the field. Camargo nearly was able to pull it in for a one-handed interception, but that's as best as possible as the ball went over the head of Elijah Thompson. Second down.
Yeah, they're trying for a quick strike. That was an all streaks formation, meaning all the receivers are running as hard and as fast as they can down both sides of the field. Leary automatically looked to his right. If he would have looked to his left, he may have liked what he saw, because I can assure you that some of the defensive backs may have been looking in the backfield a little bit too much.
Let's see what Highland does here on second down.
Same thing, double slot formation.
And this is a carry up the middle. Now pushing toward the left side is Mike Furlow. He gets popped after getting back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe it looks like he gained a yard after all.
Yeah, Josiah Miller there to wrap him up and bring him down. Young man's having himself a fine game defensively tonight. Again, good reads. We talked about it before. When you're seeing that the defensive end is crashing and you're that backer who's spread out, or you're that defensive back, you need to be fundamentally sound. And remember that you got to protect the counter, you got to protect the reverse.
Tevin Atkins coming in the game for Mike Furlow. It is Mekhi Brown, though, standing behind Connor Leary. And he's the one who gets the carry. Finds a hole to the 40. Twists around, gets towards midfield. Pushed out of bounds by Camargo. But after getting a Highland first down.
Big play here by the Tartans. You know, we just talked about it. Spread the formation out. Try to create a running lane. One-on-one matchups on the front side of the formation. Offensively, left side of the line. Get some good push. You see it here. Just a real good seal block to ride the end out. And then he just stays right up, right behind Jeffrey Nearest. Good run there by number 5, Brown.
Fresh set of downs for Highland. 1:11 to go here in the first half. Leary looking to pass. Fires one down the far side of the field. Tipped away, out of bounds. Camargo there on the stop. He was looking down the far side of the field was Leary for Jeffrey Neris, and it falls incomplete.
Camargo is putting together some good film for himself right now tonight. Really good defensive tactics, making sure that he's staying in his portion. They're playing zone. They're not playing man. You know when you see a guy running down the field and you're thinking like, wow, that was really good man coverage. No, it wasn't. It's just that he was deeper than the deepest man, and that's what you need to play in that size or that style of zone defense.
1:04 to go. Leary rolls right. Slings one across the middle. That pass caught by Elijah Thompson, close to the first down marker. A couple Blue Devils in on the stop there, including Ethan Peterson, who was a little shaken up on the play. Getting helped up to his feet. It signals he's good to go by Josiah Miller.
Yeah. Again, Leary's slinging it, man. He is just lining up, and he's going to take yardage any way he can get it. Even if he's drawing a penalty, he's throwing the football.
Slings one far side of the field, way out of the reach of his target, Tuttle. And Downey there on the coverage. 36 seconds to go here in the half.
Tuttle's his favorite target early in the season. 6 catches, 81 yards. Elijah Frazier, another one, 5 catches for 42. So keep your eye on number 4 and 10 for Highland. And I'm sure as the Blue Devils are going through their film study this week in preparation for the game, this is a scenario that they practiced, right? If we're,
Absolutely.
We're under 2 minutes into a half, we're going to try to throw the ball, a guy that's dropped back 43 times. We need to understand the principles and, again, spreading out, double slot formation again. Tuttle at the top of your screen.
On a second down play, fires one across the middle, again incomplete. Good coverage there by the Blue Devils. Camargo and Peterson in there. Ball just out of the reach of the Highlands receiver.
Flag on the play. Talked about conditioning. Tuttle looked absolutely gassed on that last rep because he's just running streaks and posts the whole way down the field right now.
And a holding call. I think it's second and very long for Highland here with 30 seconds to go in the half.
You know all those wind sprints that all the kids love so much that they have to do
yep.
during summer practices, and
I remember doing them in high school.
And you're just like letting coach have it under your breath as much as you can. This is where you realize this is the why.
It's important. On a second down and long, it's a run for Highland. He gets close to the original line of scrimmage. Was Mekhi Brown, and the clock's going to roll here, and it looks like Highland will be content with going into the locker room down 13-0. Or do we have time for one more play?
They're going to try to hurl
Indeed.
this thing. Well,
it's a carry by Brown, and it gains maybe 3-4 yards there, and that'll be the end of the first half. Hammonton Blue Devils, 2 touchdowns. Josh Camargo in the first, Joey Gillen in the second. It is 13-0. Visiting Blue Devils looking to get the win here on BFA Sports. Friday night against Highland. We head to the half.
Pizza Hut's stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half-pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, only from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Newest thing from Pizza Hut isn't pizza at all. It's cheesy, so crispy, loaded with toppings, and just $6.99. Enough for two, price for one. New Pizza Hut melts, just $6.99.
I be like, sheesh.
Hello, everybody. Vin Abnu, Doug Stasic. Second half, 13-0 Blue Devils on the Josh Camargo touchdown in the first quarter, an 8-yard touchdown run that made it 7-0 after the PAT. And then Joey Gillen had a nice touchdown catch in the second quarter. So Hammonton's offense, Doug, a little bit slow out of the gate. Their defense has held Highlands. Highlands has threatened a couple times and then a couple big penalties. But, you brought up a great point toward the end of the first half there, with how hot it's been across New Jersey this week. The dry fields, a little bit hard on the surface. It's conditioning. I mean, you talk about hydrating throughout the course of the week and then certainly stretching and everything. And then, that could be key for the second half.
Listen, the old adage, who wants it more? It's going to be who's conditioned more. I mean, it's as simple as it's going to be. You got a 13-0 game. It's been very physical up front. We've seen spells, right? Like we've seen a couple guys. It looks like they're a little, I don't want to say banged up, but maybe cramping up just a little bit. Highland's been throwing the ball quite a lot, and you can see it in some of the receivers. A little bit slower to get up, get back to the huddle. We've seen Hammonton utilize some of their depth and rotate guys in. And now it's going to be right down to the conditioning of the offense and the defensive lines. And I'm really looking forward to another physical, I think, style of football. And, 2 scoring drives. The first started off with a bit of a block punt.
Yeah. And put them into great field position. And I'll tell you, 2 of the Blue Devils that have helped them on both sides of the ball, Kenny Smith and especially Josh Camargo, who's made some nice plays on offense, but he's come up big coming out of the strong safety spot as well. A couple hard hits, tight coverage on every passing play that he's involved with, going one-on-one on that side of the ball as we near the conclusion of the stretching period here, and we're about ready to begin the second half. So, Hammonton's got to come out here offensively strong, I think, Doug, to really just show that they've shaken off that Cherokee loss last week.
Yeah, they had opportunities, no doubt about it, but give credit where credit is due. Highland put together some really good drives. They don't have any points to show for it, but they were able to move from one side of the field to the other, some 40, 50-yard drives. And then Hammonton did the old bend or break defense where they really wouldn't give up. But make no mistake about it, Gillen's going to play a key role for Hammonton here in the second half. And then I would say for Highland, as well as Leary's been slinging the ball, Elijah Thompson is going to be a guy that was a standout for the Tartans in the first half. They're really going to need him in the second half, and I'm kind of curious to see how Tuttle responds because that wide receiver, where number 4, he was their go-to receiver coming in this game. He seems to be a little banged up, so it'll be interesting to see how he responds. But before we go, speaking of Highland, got to give a shout-out to our guy Colin Morris, who is on stats for us tonight.
Yeah,
he's on the scoreboard.
Job.
So, Colin, come on over here, man. We're going to give you
say hello to everybody.
Just bend down in front of the camera. So he's going to bend down. There he is. Shout out. Highland Tartans, the freshman. Going to be on the baseball squad this year. So I want to thank him and our buddy, Coach DJ Gorse. Keep up the good work. All right, ready for football, second half. You're on BFA.
Highland will kick it off here since Hammonton did that to begin the game here. So
speaking of legendary coaches, there's Frank Fusatola.
Yeah.
And he's making sure he's counting players.
That's important. Let's not.
He coaches in his sleep. I don't know if many people know that, but he coaches in his sleep.
Well, it'll be Hammonton starting things off here in the second half. That's a kick handled immediately there in midfield. A little squib kick, and Gabriel Wayner falls on top of it. And, you can't ask for much better field position if you're Hammonton, Doug.
No, listen, here's the reality. Do you really want to kick it deep to Kenny Smith and take your chances? Or maybe catch a lineman a little bit off guard, get a favorable bounce? That didn't happen, and now you're giving Hammonton the ball right at midfield.
That's what Cherokee was trying to do last week in the second half, and they caught Hammonton off guard. So Hammonton turning the tables this time on Highland. Jaden Smith, receiver, bottom of your screen. This is a handoff, though. Up the middle, it's Kenny Smith driving through the pile, getting a first down and a little bit more with a little push from his friends. It's a first down for the Blue Devils. On the Kenny Smith run, Cameron Broadnax with a big push from behind to help Kenny Smith get those final couple yards.
Yeah, I can assure you that some of the conversation in the Hammonton huddle at halftime, win the line.
Yeah.
Win the line. Fire out of your stance. When the running back goes down, get them up off the ground, get back in the huddle, and go back to work. going to see more of a high-tempo offense here by Hammonton to try to take advantage of, we'll just call it the sheer exhaustion that's soon to settle in for just about everybody.
Clemens on that carry there brings up a 2nd and short. I mean, that's, again, to the point you made earlier, that's why all this summer practice, all the practices and conditioning drills and everything between July and August, those hot days, those rainy days, you're out there, you're running sprints at the end of practice for games like this, and then you got to build that endurance for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and
carry to Kenny Smith, gets the first down, carries the pile to the 20.
I mean, that's a heck of a pancake ride and a block. Again, out in front. Try to call him out as much as I can tonight, but, Christian Funky Cole Medina, that's second-level blocking, right? He's not 3 yards the line of scrimmage. I mean, he literally took Kenny Smith all the way to the first down marker and beyond, and this is where things just start to perhaps roll a little bit more for this Hammonton offense behind their big offensive line.
Craig's going to give this one to Kenny Smith again. He's going to try the left side. Makai Brown, he escapes him. Now he runs into a crew of Tartan defenders there, and he's finally tackled to the ground there by Zion Brokenbraw.
Well, Coach Rasso not going to be too happy to see that his stud running back had about 5 to 6 different players that are on him, and no other Hammonton lineman to be seen. You got to finish. And, I know for some of the Blue Devil faithful, they're sitting there saying, well, what more can these guys do? Like, they're running the football right down the field. Well, run the football down the field with 2 guys that are there to basically be your Secret Service agents and get your running back taken care of all the way down.
Clemens and Smith in the backfield. Smith on the pitch, up the left sideline, looking for the touchdown, in for 6. Blue Devils up 19-zip.
And there it is. I call out the offensive line, and they deliver, right? All of them, just an escort service going all the way down the left side, clearing the way for Kenny Smith. He's fired up, and rightfully so, and they're there to celebrate with him. Everybody loves the end zone, that's for sure.
7th touchdown of the season for Kenny Smith.
Yeah, a lot to be proud of there for Kenny Smith, and he's fired up and thankful for all the work that his linemen had done for him, not just on that drive, but tonight.
And they missed the PAT last time it was blocked. This one blocked again. So Hammonton misses another PAT attempt. They still lead 19-0 on the Kenny Smith touchdown with 9:23 to go in the third quarter. Blue Devils holding on to the shutout.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half-pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, only from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Newest thing from Pizza Hut isn't pizza at all. It's cheesy, so crispy, loaded with toppings, and just $6.99. Enough for 2, price for 1. New Pizza Hut melts, just $6.99.
I be like shoes. Sunset.
Back here, third quarter, 19-0 in favor of the Hammonton Blue Devils following the Kenny Smith touchdown from 4 yards out. Got a lot of good blocking on that play. Credit to the Hammonton offensive line. Vin Ebnu with you alongside Doug Stasic. And Hammonton doing what they need to, coming out of the locker room here, going down the field. Just a couple minutes time, and they're going to kick it back. And see how Highland responds here. That kick goes to about the 18. Up the sideline is Tuttle. Nice return, gets to the 40, and missed that final block. Stopped near the 47-yard line, and a nice return by Matt Tuttle. And Highland looking to respond here, Doug.
Well, that's a good response for Highland, and perhaps a good place to put them to get this drive started.
And down 3 scores, 19-0 here, 9:15, and about to be counting going in the third quarter. So Highland, it was probably about mixed between passing and running in the first half. But they definitely favor the pass on longer distance plays. They've, given the ball a lot to Mackay Brown coming out of the backfield, Doug, but it's really been the pass that Connor Leary has favored.
Yeah, well, you look at the size of the roster, especially for Highland. They're playing Ironman football. Lots of guys going both ways. And it is the same a bit for Hammonton, but not to that degree. So this is really where you're going to have the intestinal fortitude to dig deep, find a way to keep those legs churning, try to stay mentally sharp, and you know that it's a test of endurance that's going on right here. We've been talking a lot about it, but for me, I went to Holy Spirit High School in the 90s, and we played a 2-platoon system that used to drive teams nuts. So you either played offense or defense, but you never played both. But when you would get late into the games or get in the second half, you knew coming out of the locker room that you were going to be fresher than most of the guys that were on the other side. And right now, this is kind of what some of these guys are dealing with when it's this hot out.
Elijah Thompson, Mike Furlow in the game for Highland. It's a pass up the far side, dropped by Total, and a flag thrown coming in from the secondary. And we'll see what the call in the field is.
Yeah.
It's a holding call. Let's see who it's called on. And it's on Hammonton.
Yeah, got some defensive holding, most likely downfield. Again, Leary not hesitant to throw the football. They're going to move the chains on that.
So Hammonton, Doug, almost had one of those penalties earlier in the game where it almost cost them, and their defense, the secondary, was able to bail them out. That's not going to make that man happy there, Coach Jim Razzo. It's sometimes those penalties.
Hey, you're giving extra, it's like in baseball, giving extra outs.
Right.
Can't do it.
There's a carry by Mackay Brown. He's going to try the Hammonton sideline. Gets about 3 or 4 before he's brought down.
They called Mackay Brown's number quite a few times in the first half, and that's not something that you want to see.
Down after the play.
Yeah,
a couple Blue Devil defenders were in on that, including Devon Coulter.
Yeah, the way he's holding his leg, he could be cramping up a little bit.
And he's been their feature back so far tonight, getting up on his own power there as the trainers and coaches make their way to the far side. Hammonton training staff in there helping Mackay Brown as well. And it looks like, to your point, Doug, maybe it could be a cramp. I mean, it looks like they're giving a hamstring stretch there.
Yep, trying to stretch him out just a little bit.
So they're tending to Mackay Brown on the Hammonton sideline, and Highland trying to drive following the score by Kenny Smith about a minute and a half ago, coming out of the locker room there. Hammonton leading 19-0. Josh Camargo scoring the touchdown in the first quarter, an 8-yard touchdown catch. Joey Gillen in the second, Kenny Smith in the third. So Hammonton going with the 1.25 touchdowns as the training staff continues to tend to Tartans running back Mackay Brown on the field, and Doug's got an announcement for you.
Yeah, calling the Life Brokerage Team is the only call you need to make when you need to design a play to take care of your family now and in the future. Life insurance, estate planning, wealth building are just a few of the big decisions that the Life Brokerage Team can coach you through when designing a playbook for your family's future. Grab a headset or your cell to reach out to Anthony Mento and his team at lifebrokerageLLC.com. So still tending to the running back. And, again, teams took a little bit of extra time getting out of halftime locker room, get a little bit of extra Gatorade going. And, you take a kind of a look behind him here on the sideline. And
it looks like a tight hamstring. He's favoring that leg. So that's tough for Highland and certainly for Mackay Brown.
Yeah, he's cramped up. That's really what's going on. If it was a fear of a pulled hammy or something like that, they wouldn't want him to be walking on it. But, cramping, you talk about it all the time. You try to hydrate as much as you can before you get to the field. So, 6 hours prior to the game, you're just constantly, trying to get as much.
Before, yeah?
Oh, yeah. But when it's this hot, I hate to say it, just sometimes doesn't even, it doesn't even matter. I don't know if you actually heard the NFL, some of the teams, Jacksonville Jaguars being one of them, they've actually installed devices inside the facility that gives players immediate feedback based on when they're using said facility.
Oh, wow.
That it'll let them know, you need to, you need to hydrate more, or you need to go get an IV.
Smart.
There's all these different things. It's kind of crazy, but this day and age, players are bigger, faster, stronger. They work out harder. They burn through more energy, and doesn't matter which way you look at it. In Mother Nature, she still remains undefeated.
Hammonton defense coming up here against the Highland O. Back ready to go here. Connor Leary looking to pass, slings one across, finds his man. It's Jeffrey Neris there. Close to another first down for Highland.
Yeah, Connor Leary again, threading the needle, good slant route, good passing tree combination with the receivers. That one there looked like it was a bit of a button hook. He kind of just sat down. He was the middle receiver in that trip set. And a good read.
And a big play for Highland. I mean, they took control almost the second quarter to get into Hammonton territory now here, threatening here on their first drive of the third quarter. That's a carry up the left side. And running into a couple Blue Devil defenders was Mike Furlow. In on the stop was Christian Medina. So it's a nice run for the Highland running back.
Yeah, listen, drop the hammer. Good run there by number 7, Furlow, the senior fullback and outside linebacker. He stands at 5'7", but, man, he delivered a shot there.
And Highland threatening. I mean, they did this a couple times in the first half where they were going down the field, and then all of a sudden it was a 4-and-out or a passing play on fourth down that cost him one drive, Doug, and then it was just a mistake on another one.
Hey, don't discount it's the home opener, Vin.
Right.
Got a lot of school pride on the line. You don't have to hear about it on Monday.
Leary to pass. That one falls incomplete. Heading toward the end zone and a flag thrown after the play to the chagrin of the Hammonton defenders, including Camargo, who's in there. They may be calling DPI. We'll check the status of the flag.
They're going to...
Tight coverage.
Looking towards the Hammonton sideline, though. He's trying to get a determination of where the foul happened. Let's see if we can get indication.
It's a tough call to make if it is DPI. I mean, Camargo's game is playing tight one-on-one.
Yep, pass interference against Hammonton.
That's tough deep in the zone.
That's a tough call. I mean, coaching staff of Hammonton, a little frustrated at the call.
I think they're wondering how. Sort of the look on the face. So 6:20 to go here in the third. 19-0 Hammonton. Highland trying to put some points on the board for the first time tonight. Still, Hammonton coaches there at a loss. And Hammonton's going to call a timeout ahead of a big play here by Highland deep inside the red zone, Doug. And I think this could be a part of timeout to say, hey, let it go, move on, get to the next play.
Yeah, you have to reset focus here. And I think right now, they're trying to dig deep. I mean, came out, go right down the field, put a touchdown on the board. The last thing you want to do is turn around and then you're giving it back. That's a tough spot to be in.
And Hammonton's got a big defensive play coming up here against Highland. Discussing it in the huddle there. I mean, they pitched a shutout week 1, 35-0 against St. John Vianney, or check that week 0 rather. And then they lost 47-7 last week. So this is a big game for Hammonton.
Oh, and their coaches are talking over, trying to make an adjustment. And you know something about adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
Since 1986, Dr. Stephen Ray and his Ray Chiropractic staff have been helping players, families, and fans stay healthy and in the game. Their tradition of personalized service continues in their original Sicklerville office, conveniently located to serve all of South Jersey. From traditional spinal manipulation to cutting-edge laser therapy, Ray Chiropractic has a winning game plan to keep you feeling like an MVP.
Leary under center, gives up the middle, and gain of maybe a couple by Furlow before he's stopped there by Camargo and Peterson after a quick gain. And it looks like Highland favoring the run here deep inside Hammonton territory.
Yeah, Ethan Peterson just shot right through the gap on a stunt, able to stay low, cut down the would-be potential touchdown being scored by bringing him right to the ground. So a good wrap up there by number 4.
Under 6 to go here in the third quarter. Larry back under center. He's got Furlow and Jaden Smith in the backfield. The give is to Furlow up the middle, pushing toward the goal line, and they're going to stop him just short of the goal line.
Hard to believe. I mean, you looked at the push that the line had given them on the right-hand side, and it looked like they had numbers. You know, again, right there is a spot where you would expect the Hammonton linebackers to shift over to the strong side. I mean, they're showing unbalanced right, and the linebackers still try to kind of play it straight up. And they're going to try to run the same play.
Again to Furlow, looking for the goal line, passes it for the Highland touchdown.
Yeah, well executed there by the Tartans. Took advantage of the defensive formation, and we got ourselves a 19-6 contest as Highland is able to answer. Again, you'll see it now on the Game Changer instant replay. We'll slow it down. I mean, they had numbers. Good seal block there out in front. Number 18, Zion Brockenbrough, able to deliver. And now Aaron Brodzik for the extra point attempt.
Yeah, this could be big. Hammonton's missed 2. This kick also blocked. So 3 block kicks between both sides, and it's a 19-6 ball game. 5:12 to go in the third quarter. Hammonton leading 19-6. You're watching Friday Night Football here on BFA Sports.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half-pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, only from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Newest thing from Pizza Hut isn't pizza at all. It's cheesy, so crispy, loaded with toppings, and just $6.99. Enough for 2, price for 1. New Pizza Hut melts, just $6.99.
I be like, shoes.
19-6 Blue Devils as the Tartans have gone on the board with the Mike Furlow touchdown run. And this is I know it's a 19-6 game, Doug, but it feels like a back and forth in a way, even though Highland's only got 6 on the board.
Listen, it's like watching one of the Rocky movies. You're thinking they don't have 15-round fights anymore, right? But back then, it was like, well, you get to round 12, you get to 13, somebody falls back, somebody gets back up. This is what Highland's doing. Right now, this is like, Stallone being, fighting Drago. I mean, they're just not going away.
They're hanging in there. So it's a real test for Hammonton's defense. We've said that since the beginning of the broadcast tonight. And now Hammonton's going to have to respond here offensively. High kick. Kenny Smith's got it. He's going to run up the Hammonton sideline here looking for a lane. Barrels through and gets a couple more. Pops a linebacker to the ground there, and Hammonton's got themselves set up in a nice position here as he knocks Zion Brokenbaugh to the ground.
Well, when you go back to school, a lot of times you want to introduce yourself to some of the new kids in class. Well, he just introduced himself right here. He said, "Hi, my name is Kenny Smith, and I just dropped a boomstick."
That's
Angry runs.
I was just going to say, Kyle
Brandt from the NFL Network.
That's an angry run right there by Kenny Smith.
Wow.
So Hammonton with good field position here on their second drive of the second half. Vin Abenu, Doug Stasek with you. Thanks for joining us here Friday night for Hammonton Blue Devils football here on BFA Sports. That's a pitch to Kenny Smith. Loves that left side. Now he's going to spin around, finds an open lane on the right side. Looking for another hole. Gets past the 40. Brought down at the 33-yard line. An incredible run by Kenny Smith. Now inside Highland territory.
Yeah, good zone run here by Kenny Smith. You know, it was a great combination blocking scheme that was up front. You'll actually be able to kind of follow the guard. Look at the guard pull backside, and then it just creates a cutback lane, and he sees it. And, man, does he take advantage of it.
So fast. So strong, too. Fresh set of downs for the Blue Devils. Craig gives it off to Clemens up the middle. Flag thrown as he stopped inside the 25-yard line. Flag came in from the secondary. And it looks like a hold on Hammonton. So another holding call on the Blue Devils. This one's going to bring him back a little bit. And just look at Kenny Smith, Doug, in the backfield. Looks like he's trying to catch his breath.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're calling his number multiple times here because, again, you know, when you get that weird sense that it's a two-score contest,
yeah,
you're trying now to figure out a way to, you know, put your opponent away when you have a lead. And, you know, the best way that you can do that is to try to get your offensive line to help your star running back run downhill, right? I mean, that's a Tennessee Titans Derrick Henry type of move. You know, it just seems like as the game goes on, that guy gets stronger, and that's really, you know, Kenny Smith's calling card, and that's why so many people have admiration for his running style.
Camargo in motion across the screen. Craig fires one, far side of the field, intercepted at the 10. Camargo underthrown, and that one picked off by Markeer McAfee.
Well, they try to draw in the secondary by pounding the rock, and then the next thing you know, they didn't catch Highland by surprise, but that was the intent. Three-step drop, Craig lets the ball go, and just great read. And a little center field play, somewhere the Highland baseball coach, DJ Gore, would like to see somebody be able to patrol center field the way that they just made that play.
So a big turnover for Hammonton. Although, fortunately for the Hammonton defense, it's deep in Highland territory. But that's a key interception there by Markeer McAfee.
Yeah, I don't think they were looking to punt the ball just yet. But effectively, that's what they just did.
And this is a give. It's a run play up the left side there, and stopped after maybe 2 or 3 there was Mike Furlow, who scored the touchdown for Highland earlier in the third quarter.
That'll bring up 2nd and 8. But, you know, Joey Gillen was going for the strip of the football, but weren't going to have it. So good ball security there by Highland, as they're trying to take advantage now of this pendulum swing. So they come out, they answer back, get a touchdown, get a turnover.
Yeah.
And now, can they do it again? Got a long way to go, though, Vin.
Connor Leary looking to pass. Fires one across the middle for Tuttle. It falls incomplete.
Oh, that was scary. Tuttle with a good slant route there. Was able to cut in between the cover 3 with the defensive back and the safety.
I'll tell you, the way Ethan Peterson and Josh Camargo have played at safety tonight certainly has been impressive for Hammonton. I mean, it's, for the most part, kept Highland off the scoreboard outside that touchdown run by Furlow.
I would have loved to have been in the Highland huddle at halftime because, you know, whatever Coach Leary and Coach Small had to say to this unit, they're playing some inspired football right now.
Third down for Highland. Leary's pass tipped away, and I don't think that the linebacker there, Josiah Miller, thought he had it. I think he accidentally tipped it away. Otherwise, he may have had the pick 6.
Yeah, good pressure up front again by Joey Gillen, and, you know, sitting there just kind of waiting for that ball. You know, Josiah Miller.
And after the interception, it's a quick 3-and-out for Highland.
Well, we've seen a lot of block kicks, block punts. This is a big situation here.
Camargo back to receive for Hammonton at the Highland 40. It's going to be a back of the end zone kind of punt for Highland here. See if he can get it off. Nearly tipped. Camargo's going over to retrieve it. Makes the catch on the fly. Looking for a lane up the Hammonton sideline to the 20 and pushed out near the 16-yard line by a couple of Tartans defenders there on the special teams. Among them, Logan Myers. Nice return by Camargo.
Yeah, good heads-up play there by Camargo. Good pressure up front by the Hammonton special teams. No hesitation. You know, call there was for return left. He had a good wall. Blockers were set into place, and he read it well. And more importantly, when he got the contact, covered it up. He had two hands on the ball, so that's good ball security practice.
Official timeout called on the field. It's a Highlands player who's down. And don't want to speculate as to what that is, but could be an injury, could be sickness. I mean, it's been really hot this week. He's not feeling too well right now. It's a victim of the heat. It's very hot out this week. It's very hot tonight. We saw a couple players suffering through some possible cramps. Makai Brown, the running back for Highland, had to leave the game a little bit earlier due to some what we believe is some cramping with his hamstring. And now the Highland player, that is Matt Tuttle, who looked a little gassed in the first half, back up on his feet, fortunately, so he's going to take a little time off.
Dude's a beast. You know, he's a go-to player for this Highland offense.
And hopefully Tuttle feels better and, can return to action.
Yeah, I'm
but
sure
this could be one of those situations where it could be some Gatorade or water, and, just try to make sure he's healthy and hydrated. His health, certainly the most important thing there.
No question.
And a first down for Hammonton here. It's a run to Kenny Smith, trying the left sideline, gets a first down, pushing toward the goal line, and comes up just a little bit short.
Well, again, they continue to attack the left side of this line here in the second half, and Kenny's giving a signal on the sideline. Run that again.
It was work. They did it like 3 consecutive earlier.
Listen,
there's something about that Highland right defensive side that they like to test out a little bit.
No, we talked about they kept moving Elijah Thompson back and forth, and I think it's kind of worn. I think it's worn on him.
See what Hammonton does here. Kenny Smith pushing toward the goal line. In for the touchdown, his second of the night for the junior. And it's 6 more on the board for the Blue Devils here as they answer the Highland score as Kenny Smith in there again, Doug.
Well, he signaled, I want the football, let's run the play, and his offensive line was like, hey, let me help you. Let me help you help yourself. And, again, paid her for the Blue Devils.
Now let's see if they've missed 2 PAT attempts tonight. This one high, up, and it is good. So the PAT successful there, and it is 26-6. Hammonton Blue Devils with 2:19 to go here in the third quarter. You're watching Hammonton football here on BFA Sports. quarter, 26-6. Hammonton Blue Devils is following the second Kenny Smith score, Doug.
Yeah, and calling the Life Brokerage team is the only call to make when you need to design a play to take care of your family now and in the future. Life insurance, estate planning, wealth building are just a few of the big decisions that the Life Brokerage team can coach you through when designing a playbook for your family's future. Grab a headset or your cell to reach out to Anthony Mento and his team at lifebrokeragellc.com.
So Hammonton now with a 20-point advantage here. A couple minutes left to go in the third quarter. A couple Kenny Smith touchdowns. He's got 8 on the season. 5 in week 0. 1 last week. 2 more tonight. Camargo and Gillen, the other 2 touchdowns for the Blue Devils. As Highland will get the ball back here. 2:19 to go. And that one high end over end, goes inside the 5, picked up by Furlow, and gets greeted outside the 21-yard line, and that's where Highland will be. And making the tackle was Joey Gillen, who had a touchdown earlier in the contest. Makes a nice hit there.
Joey Gillen fired up. Just over 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, encouraging his team. Let's press on. Let's keep executing. Let's be physical.
Important drive for Highland to stay in, and this is something that talked a little bit about last week on the broadcast. Certainly tonight in Hammonton, you score and you protect that lead, whatever it is. It was a shutout earlier in the contest. Now, Doug, it's Hammonton trying to protect that 20-point lead and trying to build on it. Come back after the offense scored. Force a 3 and out or force a stop.
Yeah, and not only that, but we've seen Tuttle and Mackay Brown both go down and out of the game for the Tartans. So that depth is going to be important.
It's a run play here on first down for Highland, and a gain of a few by Tavon Atkins. Stopped there by a couple Blue Devils defenders, including Josiah Miller and Ryland Smith. So second down and about 5.
So this is a tough balance here. You got another full quarter to play. But you're also in a spot that you want to respond with a score. So it's not like time is of the essence, but when you're in a 3-possession game now, you don't want it to potentially become 4.
And that running play went just about nowhere. Went into a brick wall. In on the stop, DeAndre Clemens there. You see number 10 and number 33, Josiah Miller. This is a Hammonton defense that's starting to figure out how to stop the run a little bit in the second half. They're realizing that Highland, Doug, it's been, they know when they're going to run. When Leary's under center, when Leary's out in the shotgun, he's going to probably pass.
Yeah, and the thing about it is Leary's going to take his shots because even if it results in perhaps, we saw a defensive pass interference penalty earlier on, he's going to take yardage any way that he can get it. I think right now, if you're a Highland fan, you have to be thinking about, okay, well, how much do we have left in the tank to keep running all of these routes?
And Furlow gets tripped up, still on his feet, dragged to the ground there by a couple Blues Devils defenders, including Justin Dowdy and Andrew Wayner, as we get under 25 seconds to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, nice job there by Wayner and Dowdy. Again, good read. You see Wayner just step up from the linebacker spot, fill the gap, and make a good play. Fundamentally, a lot of times you're taught as a linebacker, think like a running back. Well, Wayner's often known as the lightning to the thunder that is Kenny Smith. So as a linebacker, you're trained to know, same as running back, if you see a hole, chances are that's where the running back is going to be. So you fly to the hole, you keep your head up, you sink the hips, and you just make plays. And that's what he did there. And Hammonton has another quarter to make some plays.
Yep. And a punt ensuing for Highland when we get back here. 26-6. Blue Devils over the Tartans. We're going to the fourth quarter here on BFA Sports.
Vertical Raise. Well, they're friends of the Blue Devils football program. Elevate your program's fundraising this season with Vertical Raise. Vertical Raise is the premier online fundraising platform for organizations of all sizes. Raise more money in less time with a local fundraising coach who works with you every step of the way to customize the ideal fundraiser for your program. Score for your team now by visiting verticalraise.com.
And it'll be a punt fourth down situation here to start the fourth quarter. Hammonton will get the ball back. Kenny Smith just outside the 50. A high snap and a flag thrown as the punt goes off. Bounces over to Kenny Smith. He's going to let it roll, making the poison calls. The ball stops near the 43-yard line. The flag came in from where the ball was snapped. Let's see where the flag, what the penalty is. It's a false start on Highland.
Ugh.
So somebody jumped a little bit early there on the punt.
Looks
like Hammonton will take it where
it's kind of interesting. So they probably made it a procedure call because if it was going to be a false start, they would have stopped the play since it was on the offense.
Yeah.
So nonetheless, another short field for the Blue Devils offense. And now for Highland, this is where you got to kind of think about, got to have a stop here. Now we're in the fourth quarter, 3 scores in a high school game. Got to have a stop here.
Hammonton's got a couple receivers left. It's a carry to Kenny Smith. Gets past midfield and thrown down there after a couple more to the 48-yard line he goes. Couple Tartans defenders in on that stop, including Carnell Torres.
Well, you know, we saw Coach Rasso have the confidence in his quarterback, Craig, had thrown an interception. You would think right away, you're lining up in a trips formation. You're not throwing the football. Not with a 3 touchdown lead. But you never know. You never know. You got to defend it.
Let's see who gets the ball here on second down. It's going to be a passing situation here. Far side, caught by Camargo. And tossles for position, pushed out of bounds inside Highlands territory. And a nice catch.
Yeah.
For Camargo, the senior.
And here's why I love the play call, right? You had a situation, quarterback gives up an interception, and in an obvious run situation, you give him a one-on-one matchup that he can make a completion, get the confidence, rev back up, and that's telling your quarterback, hey, we trust you, we need you, get back on it. And Craig executing big time there.
Fresh set of downs for the Blue Devils. Camargo in motion. It's Kenny Smith on the carry. Going to try the Hammonton sideline. Can't find a lane and pushed back. Nice hit there by James Starks.
Well, Starks has laid a couple of nice hits out here tonight. Called his name a bunch for the Tartans, and big spot and a big stop.
They sniffed out the run there and stopped Kenny Smith. So we'll see what Hammonton's going to do here, Doug. On a 2nd and 11, do they go back to the air? Do they double down and give it to Kenny Smith?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Got the Jaws theme playing here at Highland High School.
Yeah, shout out to the Pep Band.
Throws across. That one tipped in the air and falls incomplete. He was trying to get it to Joey Gillen there and
thread the needle. That's a nice pass there by Craig. You know, Gillen was a little bit of a uncomfortable predicament, but, I mean, this is a collegiate type of pass. See him right here, finds that.
Oh,
mind you, that throw is in a box amongst 4 defenders, and he managed to put it right there on his hands. But great play defensively, Highland, to separate him from the football.
Joey Gillen scored a touchdown in the second quarter. Unable to hold on there after a hard hit. It's a 3rd down and 11 for the Blue Devils. Craig, fake, play action. Tosses it across the middle to Kenny Smith. Gains maybe about 5 yards on the play. Stopped by Tevin Atkins and Matt Tuttle back in the game. So We'll see what Hammonton tries to do here. 4th down coming up. Official out near the 30. Signaling toward the Hammonton sideline, so it looks like it'll be a replay of 3rd. It's a penalty, a flag that we didn't see. It was a penalty on Hammonton, so now it's Huddle's moving back, ball spotted just outside, a couple of yards away from the 40 there. Under 10 minutes to play here in the game. Hammonton with a 20-point lead. Touchdown by Camargo in the first, Gillen in the second, 2 by Kenny Smith in the 3rd quarter. Craig back to pass. Slings one for Camargo! Just out of his reach. Nearly made a one-handed grab for a touchdown and just a little too strong.
Yeah, hey, again, you know, as much as you want to finish this contest, finish this game, try to put another W in the column, you're working in real time to try to what's next. You're going to need your quarterback to throw. You're going to need to get teams to respect the run as much as respect the pass as much as the run.
Right.
And this is how Hammonton is dialing up the offense right now with that in mind.
It's 4th down, and Hammonton will punt. Gonna line up that way. Craig. Certainly, playbook has something for a trickery. I don't think they'll do it here 4th and long. That's a low snap. Craig able to get it off, though, on the punt. Deep inside the 10. Poison call made as that ball rolls into and out of the end zone, and a touchback for Highland. And the Tartans will get decent field position starting with 9:28 to go in the ball game. Certainly in need of a few scores here late. Highland able to stop Hammonton on that offensive drive, and now it's up to them to get something cooking offensively, and they've had a hard time trying to do that. Well, through the course of the game, Mike Furlow did have that touchdown run, Doug, about 5:12 left to go in the 3rd quarter, but Hammonton's been able to stop Highland outside of that drive tonight.
No, it's, you know, the bend but don't break defense. They've come up with some big plays. Defensive front 4 has really done a job, and I think there was a bit of criticism even with some of the linebacking core, and they've had a really good game tonight. You know, like I talked a lot early on. We mentioned Dowdy. We've mentioned number 11.
Andrew Weiner. There we go. There's a pass play here. That one falls incomplete, intended for Jeffrey Naris. Good coverage on the play by Justin Dowdy.
Yeah, and the whole defense has just responded, you know, and knowing that, you know, Leary's a guy that likes to throw the ball, has certainly shown that he can do so down the field. The secondary has been very disciplined and not allowed many times at all for anybody to get behind them. So, you know, kudos to the defense of Hammonton tonight responding after a rough go of it last week.
2nd down and 10. Deep in their own territory. Tartans looking to put up a drive here late. Hammonton defense has played much better this week, and they're looking to make another stop here. Connor Leary looking to pass, fires one across the Hammonton sideline, caught! And he's going to march toward the end zone. Elijah Thompson! Did he get in? No, just short of the goal line.
Wow. We talked about it at the beginning of the second half. I said Elijah Thompson, he's going to be a player to watch. He and Leary able to hook up and just go the distance, better part of almost 70 yards. See it here on the Game Changer instant replay. I mean, Leary's looking for him all the way. Beautiful pass. Nose of the football goes down. Again, solid coverage. But this time, he wins the one-on-one, and credit to Camargo, not giving up on it.
So now 1st and goal for the Tartans. Ball spotted on the 1. Tartans in need of a score here, looking to put one through. Up the middle.
Not giving in.
And stopped short again.
Wow. What a great fourth quarter here.
Connor Leary tried getting in on his own, and the Hammonton Blue Devils front able to keep him out. So they'll bring up second and goal. Leary comes back in with the play. Got to imagine, Doug, they're going to try something along those lines again, whether it's Leary keeping it or giving it to Furlow or it's Jaden Smith. This one to Furlow, into the end zone for the touchdown.
Wow.
Tartans answering back.
What a great series right there for Highland. You know, we talked about this in the third quarter. Rocky versus Drago, just back and forth. This one seems like it's dragging on, but they're just not going away. They're just continuing to answer the call, continuing to answer the bell, continuing to go up. And the drama is building, and we're back to a two-score game with 7:47 remaining here in regulation.
Could create the opportunity here for an exciting finish. Highland, who missed a PAT the last time they scored, looking to go for two, and it looks like Hammonton wants to talk things over, so they call time ahead of this two-point conversion attempt here. As Highland's looking to make it a 26-14 game and give themselves a chance here, should they stop Hammonton on the defensive side of things to get back in it. Well, it would still make it a 12-point game. See what Highland does here, and this is big for Hammonton, Doug. I mean, 26-12, it's a two-point conversion. I would think that Highland here, as much as they like the run, I think they try to go against it and try to pass.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the chunk play that got him all the way down the field. I think now, though, it dictates to Hammonton that what's going to happen when they go back to offense, they have to use the clock to their advantage. They're going to start to grind it out, try to chew clock, put it together an elongated drive, and put some points on the board. But maybe Highland took it a little bit personal that we're still throwing the football around, and you had a 3-score lead late in the game.
Highland to attempt the two-point conversion here. They've got 4 receivers across. Pass incomplete, past Tuttle. And good coverage on the play by Josiah Miller, who's been in it all second half here, all throughout the game, making nice stops. And it's a 26-12 game following a second touchdown of the second half by Furlow. 26-12 Blue Devils. You're watching Hammonton High School football here on BFA Sports. Fourth quarter, 26-12, Blue Devils. They'll get the ball back. Kenny Smith back to receive at his own 15. 2 touchdowns in the second half, both by Mike Furlow for Highland. And what's been a battle for both teams here tonight. Hammonton getting a Tartans team that's been in it the entire game. Clawing in there, and they've been able to put a couple touchdowns on the board here in the second half. Missing a PAT, then not converting on that two-point attempt try. Kicker lost his shoe. The punt goes to Kenny Smith. He's going to try the Hammonton sideline up the middle, looking for another lane, and just can't get it. Gets past the 40, though. Fresh set of downs for Hammonton, and the Highland kicker goes to retrieve his cleat.
Well,
he threw it. Somebody else picked it up on Highland and threw it to the kicker, and that is number 50 there, Eddie Johnson Bonanno, who's going to go back to the sidelines and put his cleat back on, Doug.
It's like the wildest scene right now for like Friday Night Lights football. We got a 2-touchdown game. We got a pep band playing a concert as the game is like going on. Like, you see these guys, like, the music is outstanding.
Yeah.
I will tell you, but
they've done a great job.
It totally throws off the whole vibe of the other team. It's just the most unique thing I've seen in high school football in a while.
Kenny Smith getting carried back there, and getting fired up on the stop was Tevin Atkins. Forward progress accounted for. Looks like maybe gained a yard there. This will be about Hammonton, Doug. I think chewing up some clock here. Obviously leading 26-12. They want to protect the lead, and if they could score, they'll score. But they don't want to leave Highland with much time to try and mount and come back.
Now, here's where you leverage the clock. You got to use it as like the 12th man on the field.
6:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. Kenny Smith up the middle, past midfield, looking to break a tackle. Able to carry him for a few more yards, but stopped inside the 45. What a fresh set of downs for the Blue Devils at the end of that Kenny Smith run. And the junior tonight has a pair of touchdowns. 8 on the season. Although the lone touchdowns in the second half for Hammonton, he scored both in the third quarter. Gillen and Camargo, the other touchdowns for the Blue Devils tonight.
I want to give a shout out to my mom, Beth Stasic, for firing off in the chat. Glad that she's watching.
Saw that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Love you, Mom.
And this is a give up the middle, and Clemens able to get a couple yards there on that carry before he's stopped after a short gain. We'll bring up second down at about 8 for Hammonton, now under 6 minutes to go, and timeout called on the field. And it is Andrew Wayner who's being tended to by the Hammonton medical staff. And looks like he may be cramping as well.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, man. I know earlier on in the broadcast I was probably getting crushed in the chat. No worse than my mom crushed me in the chat, though, tonight. I guess that doesn't happen every day. But, we were talking about the whole hydration thing and the elements and the conditioning, and you're seeing it play out. And it's not really so much about being right. It's just from a coaching standpoint, this is where the assistant coaches have a bigger role in the game, because they're trying to track their positional players, how are they holding up, and then more importantly, coach up the next guy. Because if someone does need it some time and they are cramping up and you got to bring somebody else in, this is still a 2-score game, so the next man up is super important.
Got to be ready to go.
We could have some guys down the stretch that play a bigger role in this.
And Andrew Wayne are able to walk off. As the medical staff will tend to him. And certainly well wishes as well. Hopefully he recovers, and certainly got to keep him healthy. Got to keep everybody healthy. Health, again, the most important thing here. Second down and 9 for Hammonton. Well, a hard count. Almost got a couple Highland players to jump, but it looks like he succeeded in that. Looks like an offsides penalty on Highlands. So encroachment is the call, and that'll move up Hammonton a few yards here, and second and now about 4.
Clock continues to wind. Looks like all 3 timeouts on the board still for The Tartans.
It's a big second down for Hammonton to try and continue to eat up clock. Highland needs a stop. It's a carry up the middle by the junior, Kenny Smith, barreling through a couple Tartans defenders there before he stopped. He spun around, and he was able to pick up the first down, so fresh set of downs for Hammonton. Credit to Kenny Smith. Another angry run, I guess, Doug.
Listen, Kenny Smith just keeps bringing it. And again, as the line is breaking huddle and kind of going back to the line of scrimmage here, it's a lot of guys that are banged up, a lot of guys that are limping. This is an old school smash mouth football game.
Yeah.
It's a George Hallis special. The old monsters of the Midway, 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Kenny Smith on the carry here. Pushing through, looking for another hole in a lane, and able to get a few yards there on a first down run. Maybe gains about 6 or 7 there. Nope, he got the full thing, got whole 10.
Got the first down, and more importantly, that clock, as soon as the chains are reset, will continue to burn.
4:25 to go here in the fourth quarter and running. And Hammonton leading 26-12. Certainly it's a situation where they're going to either feed Kenny Smith or DeAndre Clemens here to run out the clock.
Such a tough spot to be in because when you're down 2 touchdowns, you're trying to hold on to your timeouts, but it's going to get to a point that Highland's going to have to burn them unless Hammonton can score here.
Craig gives it to Kenny Smith.
Nice
tripped up in the
play.
backfield, got nowhere to go.
What an outstanding play there by number 9.
Man, Jaden Smith had him wrapped up by the ankle.
And it looks like another flag on the play.
Looks like it's on Hammonton as well.
Laundry on the field.
And a holding call. There haven't been an exceedingly amount of penalties on either side, but, it's been a couple holding calls on Hammonton that Coach Jim Rouse is going to want to make sure that the Blue Devils clean up for next week.
Yeah, listen, I think I mentioned it before. If you're a Phillies fan, you don't want to give the Marlins extra outs, and if you're a Hammonton fan, you don't want to give the Tartans another 5 to 10 yards that you need to go.
Yeah. First and long for the Blue Devils. Craig tosses to Kenny Smith, looking for a lane, finds one, and gets popped there by Elijah Thompson. And close to another first down. We'll see where they spot it.
And
the irony, maybe a couple yards short.
The irony of the Highland Pep Band playing Blink 182's all the small things. Well, right now the Hammonton offense doing a lot of small things pretty well as they continue to now move the ball and burn the clock.
I'll tell you though, Kenny Smith has had those 2 touchdowns here in the second half, Doug, but I feel like the Hammonton offense, third game of the season, has looked the most spread out. Camargo had that touchdown earlier. Joey Gillen had that touchdown earlier. So maybe part of the game planning by Coach Jim Razzo and the staff to just spread the ball out a little bit more, take some of the pressure off Kenny Smith.
Yeah, and there's a look at Kenny Smith. He's trying to catch his breath. He's trying to catch his breath, take advantage of a little bit of a break in the action here. And what Hammonton is now doing is they're maximizing the play clock. So they're letting the play clock come down. You're not going to see Craig get set up to try to take a snap here until the back judge actually raises his arm and then starts. We kind of, not doing a tomahawk chop, but essentially they're giving you the signal of 10 seconds left on the play clock. So Hammonton might actually take this all the way down and take a timeout.
And see, it's under 2.5 now. It's third and short for the Blue Devils. And you see time called. The coach back out on the field there. Looks like he's going to signal for the timeout any second now. And there it is. And Hammonton will use their final timeout here with 2:15 left to go in the fourth quarter, up 26-12.
And, again, want to just give a quick shout-out to all of our sponsors tonight that are part of the Hammonton Blue Devil Blue and White Club. Pizza Hut, score big deals on stuffed crust pizzas, tasty wings, and more. Download the app, pizzahut.com. The DiDonato Family Fun Center and Bowling Alley, ice cream, arcade games, and more. Check them out at DiDonatoFunCenter.com. Asphalt Paving Systems, Mr. Bob Capaferri and his team at AsphaltPavingSystems.com. Red Oak Builders and the Giacobbe family. Thank you to Anthony and his squad. If you're in need for an historic restoration or a multifamily commercial project, give them a call. D'Amico Travel, when it's time to book a trip, go on a little bit of vacation from Disney World to cruise or more. Check out the team at D'AmicoTravel.com. Ricky Mariello and Remax Real Estate, RickyMariello.remax.com. Vertical Raise Fundraising, VerticalRaise.com. Life Brokerage and Ray Chiropractic.
After the timeout, 3rd down and 3 for the Blue Devils. Clemens and Smith in the backfield. It's a carry to Clemens up the middle, spinning through a couple Tartans defenders, and gets a few out of that play and a fresh set of downs as well. And on the stop was Matt Tuttle for Highland.
Hammonton out of timeouts. Highland has 3, but it could be in jest if Hammonton can put one more here on the board. And again, you do have to consider from a coaching staff, this has been a long football game.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's very hot. So, Coach Leary could also be weighing that out to decide, like, hey, is it really worth taking a timeout in this situation?
Carry goes to Clemens, busting up the middle and close to the goal line. Looks like a couple yards short at the end of it. And 1:27 to go here in the 4th quarter. Clemens getting some more carries here in the second half to give Kenny Smith a little bit of a break. DeAndre Clemens also plays a little bit of linebacker. It's a good running back tandem to have, Doug. DeAndre Clemens, Kenny Smith, both juniors. They'll be back next year. I know it's game 3 of this year, but, that's going to be a fun duo to watch.
Oh, yeah. This team's got a ways to go. But a good step in the right direction tonight, and now
time called by Highland, it looks like. Yep, there we go.
There's actually a flag on the field.
Oh, the coach. Yep, flag.
I think they waved the flag off.
Yeah.
So Highland is going to take a timeout.
With 57 seconds to go now. This is a big win. Hammonton, technically, they were the home team, if you will, in Week 0. It was Battle on the Beach in Ocean City. But last week was a road game at Cherokee, Doug. Tonight's a road game at Highland. So Hammonton, for the first time next Thursday, will be on their own turf.
Yeah.
This season.
Home opener. Happy to bring it to you on BFA Sports. And we'll have the call.
Yeah.
So I can't wait.
You and I hanging out with the people next Thursday?
Yeah, we'll be hanging out. I'm hoping to get to the downtown, maybe check out the Funky Cow, great ice cream place right there.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, sure enough. Head up, and of course, maybe a delivery of some Pizza Hut wings.
I'm down for that.
Pizza Hut wings. Thanks to Ed Herron and the crew.
Clemens on the carry, tripped up. Tuttle there, fired up. He's played really well tonight. He came in as their leading receiver, has gotten some attention on offense for how well he's played there, and he's come up with a couple of big stops. So, in a game like this for Highland, obviously Furlow both touchdowns, but Tuttle's one of those other guys you point to that had, a really good game.
Yeah, no, Tuttle, he's a guy that they're going to count on time and again as the season goes on for Highland. And, again, another guy made a couple nice plays, showed out well, came in as the leader on the team in receptions early on in the season. And when you have a quarterback in Connor Leary that can throw the football as well as he does, he's a guy they're going to need more and more.
Hammonton now in victory formation here as the clock winds down under 10 seconds. And the Hammonton Blue Devils win this contest on the road 26-12, bouncing back from that Cherokee loss a week ago to improve to 2-1 on the season. Camargo scored, Gillen scored, Kenny Smith scored a pair, and it's a big victory for the Hammonton Blue Devils. For Doug Stasic and our entire BFA Sports crew, I am Vin Ebenu. We'll talk to you next Thursday as the Hammonton Blue Devils are back home.